be in imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activities karma kanda. 9. To instruct faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain marital attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sanga conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago, Illinois.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Priya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण पद्मा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम राम
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada Til Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda from Atlanta, Paniyati Dham.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gupta Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for all your good services, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Mataji, should I start the next Mataji introduction? Should I give the introduction to Prabhuji? Start that or should we wait more, Mataji?
No, Mataji, Ayan is ready to do introduction. You can just
Okay.
announce the speaker for today.
Sure. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Jaduthakur Prabhuji for giving the Srimad Bhagavatam class. 8th canto, 4th chapter, 16 to 24, 26 verses. Before giving the call to Prabhuji, I would like to give to Ayan Prabhuji for giving brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Ayan Prabhu, please take over the call whenever you are available. Ready, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat. I offer obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Here is a brief introduction for our today's speaker, His Grace Jaduthakur Das. Prabhuji is a brahmachari at Govardhan Eco Village. He has been practicing Krishna consciousness since 2003. Prabhuji studied electronics engineering from Mumbai University. Prabhuji has worked as software engineer in leading Indian companies. Prabhuji was initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2007. In 2010, Prabhuji was sent to Govardhan Eco Village as part of the team to develop the vision of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. under the guidance of His Grace Gauranga Prabhu and His Grace Sanat Kumar Prabhu. He has served in various capacities at Govardhan Eco Village and is currently leading the Corporate Social Responsibility Department for Rural Development at Govardhan Eco Village. Here's the brief introduction for Prabhuji. Over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Do we have Prabhuji on the call?
Yes,
Oh,
Mataji.
yeah, I see Prabhuji is already here. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
Mataji, just
Thank
one
you,
minute.
sir.
Just
Okay,
one
Prabhu,
minute.
sure. Sure, Prabhu.
Babaji is not ready yet. Can we stop recording?
Mataji, it's only a couple of minutes, Mataji. Let it be. That's okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for giving your valuable association and time this morning for enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 4th chapter, 16th, 26th verses, Prabhu. Whenever you have ready, Prabhu, please take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Actually, I am sorry. I am in a place where it is slightly noisy. I am not in my base temple. So some things are a little beyond me this time. So I hope you will be able to tolerate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Welcome, dear devotees. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 4, Text 16 to 24. So
It says 26, Prabhu. 16 to 26.
16 to 26, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'll just very quickly read the shloka also and the translations, and then we take forward the discussion. Idam aha hri prito gajendram kuru sattama shinvatam sarvabhutanam sarvabhuto maya vibhu. O best of the Kuru dynasty, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone, being thus pleased, addressed Gajendra in the presence of everyone there. He spoke the following blessings. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ye Mam Tvam Cha Saraschedam Giri Kandara Kananam Vetratichaka Venunam Gulmani Surapadapan Shingani Mani Dhishnani Brahmano Me Shivasya Cha Shirodam Me Priyam Dhama Shvetadvipam Cha Bhaswaram Shrivatsam Kaustubham Malam Gadam Kaumodikam Mama Sudarshanam Panchajanyam Suparnam Padageshwaram शेषं च मत्कलां सूक्ष्मां श्रियं देवीं मदाश्रयं ब्रह्माणं नारदं ऋषिं भवं प्रह्लादमेव च मत्स्यकूर्मवराहाद्ये अवतारे कृतानि मे कर्माणि अनन्तपुण्यानि सूर्यं सोमं हुताशनं प्रणवं सत्यम् अव्यक्तं भूविप्रान्धर्ममव्ययं दाक्षायणीर्धर्मपत्नी सोमकश्यपयोरपि गंगां सरस्वतीं नन्दान् कालिन्दीं शितवर्णं ध्रुवं ब्रह्मऋषीन् सप्त पुण्यश्लोकांश्च मानवान् उत्थाया पररात्रान्ते प्रयतासु समाहिता स्मरन्ति मम रूपाणि मुच्यन्ते ते अमृतो अखिला. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, freed from all sinful reactions are those who rise from bed at the end of the night, early in the morning, and fully concentrate their minds with great attention upon my form, your form. This lake, this mountain, the caves, the gardens, the cane plants, bamboo plants, the celestial trees, the residential quarters of me, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, three peaks of Trikuta mountain, made of gold, silver, and iron. My very pleasing abode, the ocean of milk, the white island, Shvetadvipa, which is always brilliant with spiritual rays. My mark of Srivatsa, the Kaustuba gem, my Vaijayanti garland, my club, Kaumodaki, my Sudarshan disc, and Panchajanya conch shell. My bearer, Garuda, the king of the birds, my bed, Sheshanag, my expansion of energy, the goddess of fortune, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, Prahlad. My incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha, my unlimited, all auspicious activities which yield piety to him who hears them, the sun, the moon, fire, the mantra, Omkar, the absolute truth, the total material energy, the cows and brahmanas, devotional service, the wives of Soma and Kashyapa, who are all daughters of King Daksha, the rivers Ganga, Saraswati, Nanda, and Yamuna, Kalindi, the elephant Airavat, Dhruv Maharaj, the seven rishis, and the pious human beings. ये मां स्तुवन्ति अनेनाङ्गप्रतिबुध्य निशात्ये तेषां प्राणात्यये चाहं ददामि विपुलां गतिम्. My dear devotee, unto those who rise from bed at night, at the end of night, and offer me the prayers offered by you, I give an eternal residence in the spiritual world at the end of their lives. श्रीशुक उवाच इति आदिश्य ऋषिकेश प्राधम्माय जलजोत्तमम् हर्षयन् विबुधानीकम् आरुरोह खडाधिपम्. Sri Shukdev Goswami continued, after giving this instruction, the Lord, who is known as Rishikesh, bugled with his Panchajanya conch shell, in this way pleasing all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma. Then he mounted the back of his carrier, Garuda. Hare Krishna. Mataji, I am sorry, this where I am sitting is a little noisy. Please give me 2 minutes. I'll try to change my position and get back.
Prabhuji, you can use headphones, that might help.
Actually, somehow my earphone is not working. So just give me 2 minutes, Mataji. Just 2-3 minutes.
Still the noise will come, Mataji, because microphone is from outside, right? Still the noise will come to us, even if we use the headsets.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Samti Bhakti Vedanta Amiti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Samti Radhanath Maharaj Iti Namini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar
Hare
Srivata
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Please forgive me.
Thank you,
So we'll
Prabhuji.
start
Thank you
now.
so much.
Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurun Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. So, first of all, my apologies for the inconvenience caused. I'm sorry it got disconnected. Also, I would like to, uh, you know, bow down at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas over here and seek blessings and you know, empowerment so that I can do justice to my service over here in speaking Srimad Bhagavatam for my own purification and sharing whatever little I have learned from the senior Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada with all of you. So basically, the few verses that we have read today bring us to the conclusion of a very glorious pastime of Gajendra Moksha. Actually. And this Gajendra Moksha pastime, I was just reflecting how it gives us insights and lessons. Three major lessons we can learn from this Gajendra Moksha pastime. Actually. You know, one of the first lesson that we here learn is the temporary and the dangerous nature of the world. Second lesson that we learn is how even little devotional service that we have practiced that will save us from the greatest of dangers and calamities. And third, how offending a devotee, offending a Vaishnava can lead to great trouble for us actually. Because the root of this pastime is a Vaishnava aparadha actually. Right? So we will be discussing these three aspects today. of the temporary nature of the material world. Because here we see Gajendra was extremely powerful. He was the king of elephants, not in this material world, but in the higher realms actually. In the realms where the demigods and other powerful celestial beings stay, he was king of the elephants there. He had everything in his possession what an ordinary man would want to make a perfect, happy life. He was a perfect example of maximum material happiness at any given point in time that anyone can aspire for. But said that when the time came, none of his material opulences, none of his friends, families, relatives, sons and daughters could help him actually. And also it shows how fickle and fragile our material opulences actually. Yeah. So there is a very nice pastime which comes to my mind in this time. So in one particular ISKCON temple, it was a festival, some festival was there, and a large cake was made for the devotees actually. And the cake, after the bhoga offering, arti, so all the devotees are now sitting very excitedly, and one by one, all different items are being distributed to all the devotees. But everybody's eyesight is on that cake. Everybody wants a piece of that cake, a big piece of that cake. And finally, you know, the cake arrives, and each devotee gets a big piece of this cake, which is filled with cream and very opulent, offered to the Lord with love and devotion, everything, right? And then, so as soon as the devotee gets this on his plate, immediately he picks it up and takes a first bite. There's only one problem which is there in this. The person who has made the cake has used all the ingredients perfectly. He has used the best of materials, but there is only one missing thing, and that is that he has forgot to put sugar into it. Right? So as soon as the devotee who picks this cake up and takes a first bite, his response is that of dismissal. He was expecting pleasure from this piece of cake, but it came out to be disappointment. And this frustration, so he thought, okay, there is something wrong. Let me keep the piece of cake aside, start eating other items. But he kept on looking at the cake. After some time, from some other angle, he tried to eat the piece of cake. What do you think is the result? Again, he got disappointment actually. So this is the you know life of a materialistic person sometimes actually. And sometimes as devotees also, if we are trying to enjoy sense gratification, this is what happens actually. We hope pleasure from the material world, we hope pleasure from material sense objects, but we get disappointment. And so we think, okay, there is something wrong, and let me do it after some time. Like this devotee, he kept on looking at the cake, kept on eating other items, and after some time, from another angle, he wanted to eat the cake again. But it only gave frustration actually. And this is the nature of material world actually. We expect pleasure from material world, and as we are trying to expect pleasure from material world, we don't get that pleasure. But the promise of material world giving us pleasure is so massive. There are billboards, and there are promotions, and there are advertisements, and there is continuous bombardment on us. So for us, although there is no sugar in the cake and no happiness in that material sense gratification, but the promise made, the deliverables kept are so high that the disbelief is also equally high when we don't get that pleasure from the material world. And when we don't get that pleasure from the material world, it slowly, we are expecting pleasure, we are not getting that pleasure, and so we are trying to enjoy more and more, and in turn becoming frustrated because of, as they say, as in Srila Prabhupada's words, chewing the chewed actually, right? So this is a very, very important, learning that we should understand actually. You know, just recently, also especially in India, like anywhere else in the world, it has been such a traumatic time actually. Just few days back, there was an airplane crash. In that airplane, there was a family which was moving to London for a higher prospect, and they had worked for years and years and years to move to London. Okay. There was someone, and there are some very powerful people who were sitting in that flight with an expectation that somebody was going for vacation, somebody was going for a family reunion, somebody was shifting with higher pleasures in mind. But it turned out to be a great disappointment actually. There was one more incident very recently, where in India, after one in a local Premier League of cricket match, there was a very big celebration on behalf of the winning team, and and it was supposed to be a very big fanfare moment where lakhs and lakhs of fans had come together to enjoy and celebrate. And this celebration turned out to be in a stampede in which almost 20 people lost their lives, right? So this is the nature of the material world actually. Again, sometime back, people have been to Kashmir. They were on a vacation. So people were in Kashmir, they were on a vacation, and they were enjoying themselves. And out of nowhere, some terrorists and militants came and killed so many of the people actually, which resulted in a war. Right? So this is the nature of material world. It is temporary, and Srila Prabhupada says, "Padam padam yat vipadam natesham." At every step, there is a danger which can cause us great. But while you know this danger is there, so our Shukadev Goswami, in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first few verses, he says, Deha Patyakalatradishu Atma Sainyeshu Satsavi Tesham Pramatto Nidhanam Pashyanapi na Pashyati. It says persons who are devoid of Atma Tattva, who are not inquiring into the real problems of life because they are to deha, to their body, apatya means to their children, kalatra means to their wives, and everything in relation to them, thinking them to be the system. They only suffer and do not see their inevitable destruction. Tesham pramatodinam. They are seeing their destruction, but not to see their destruction. And the ninth chapter is named, you know, the most confidential knowledge. How can a knowledge which is being distributed uh, in large numbers, ISKCON alone has distributed more than 500 million Bhagavad Gitas all across the world. How can that knowledge be so confidential? Right? So he says, because people see, but they do not see. They are able to see it, but they are not able to realize it internally, actually. Right? So, and Lord Brahma, he is warning and he is praying to the Lord, actually, out of his compassion for the living entities. In the 9th chapter of the 3rd canto, where he says, Daivena te hata dhiyo bhavata prasanga sarva shubhopashamanad vimukhendriyaye urvanti kama sukha leshalava yadina lobha vibhuta manaso kushalani sashvat. He says, Oh my Lord, persons who are bereft of all auspicious performances of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities are certainly unfortunate, because they engage in inauspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a very little while. Right? So, here, this Gajendra Moksha pastime gives a very stark remembrance to the law for all of us about the temporary nature of this material world and the dangerous nature of this material world. But amidst all this, if we are able to practice a little bit of Krishna consciousness, like we have seen in the pastime of Gajendra, right? Gajendra had been a king in his past life and he had practiced devotional service then. And because of that practice of devotional service, although that practice was incomplete, Narad Muni says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is better to practice incomplete devotional service than to be perfect in all our material duties. Because what benefit will a person who has conducted all his material duties do as compared to a person who is practicing devotional service but his efforts are incomplete? Right? So there is no loss for a person who is practicing devotional service. But he says, although a materialistic person may do 100% of his job with great precision, with great perfection, with great punctuality, what does he gain? Right? This brings us, Srila Prabhupada so beautifully gives us this verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamasyapi dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. So Prabhupada translates, in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. This is our great hope as devotees practicing and trying to practice Krishna consciousness, that whatever little practice of Krishna consciousness, although it may be incomplete, a devotee needs to have faith that this practice will help us eventually to achieve perfection. Yes, as of now we are falling short. As of now we are not as per the standards, but still we should know, as long as we are in the right direction, as long as we are in the right direction, we have lot of hope. And for such persons who are struggling, there is a piece of advice which Maharaj Kulashekar gives in his Mukunda Mala Stotra. He says, Bhavajaladigatana Dvandvavata Hatana Sutaduhrita Kalatratrana Bhararditana Vishama Vishayatoye Majjatam Aplavana Bhavati Sharanameko Vishnupoto Narana. He says, people in this vast ocean of birth and death are being blown out. Dvandvavata hatanam. They are being blown out by the winds of material dualities. As they flounder in the perilous waters of sense indulgence, with no boat to help them, they are sorely distressed. How are they sorely distressed? Because they are taking shelter of that boat which is for sure going to drown. Which is that boat? Suta Duhritra Kalatra. Suta means sons, Duhitra means daughters, and Kalatra means wives. So people expect their sons, daughters, and wives to protect them. But they don't know that in this world of material dualities, there is only one hope. Bhavati Sharanameko Vishnu Poto Narana. There is only one boat which can help us, and that boat is the boat of Lord Vishnu. Okay. And he says that those devotees who are taking shelter of the boat of Lord Vishnu, what is the impact on their lives? He says, Prithvi Renuranoppayamsi Kanika Palguspulingo Laghu Tejo Nishwasanam Maruttanutaram Randram Susukshmam Nabha Shudra Rudra Pitamaha Prabhritaya Kita Samastasura Drishte Yatra Satarako Vijayate Sripada Dhulikana. Sripada Dhulika. Once we have seen and experienced a speck of the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, once we have taken shelter of the boat of the names of Lord Vishnu, what will happen? Prithvi Renur, the entire earth with all its mass will become as small as a Renu, as small as an atomic speck. Payamsi Kanika, waters of the entire ocean will become few drops. Falgus Pulingo Lagus Teja, the entire cosmic fire element will become nothing but a small spark. Randram Susukshmam Nabha, the entirety of the sky will become a small hole. Shudra Rudra Pitamaha Prabhitaya, Kita Samastasura. All big demigods and God, like Rudra and Pitamaha means Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and they'll become very petty people. Kita Samastasura, all the demigods will become as small as, in words of Maharaj Kulshekar, they'll become as insignificant as Kita, as insects actually. When Drishte Yatra Sattarako Vijayate Sripada Dhulikana, when a small speck of the divine lotus feet of Lord Vishnu's, when we experience that one particle of dust of Lord Vishnu, it will conquer all this, where the earth will become a small speck of dust, where the oceans will become a small drop, where the entirety of sky will become a small hole, entire fire element will become a small spark, and big people will become as significant as insects. We just need to take shelter of the Lord actually. And he is motivating further all of us. He says in the next verse, says, Mabhir mandamano vichintya bahudha yamishchiram yatana naivami prabhavanti paparipava swami nano sridhara आलस्यं व्यपनीय भक्ति सुलभं ध्यायस्व नारायणं लोकस्य व्यसनापनोदन करो दासस्य किं न क्षमा. He says, Mabhir manda mano vichintya bahuda. O foolish mind, stop your fearful fretting about the extreme torments. Yamishchiram yatana, extreme torments which will be imposed by Yamraj. Naivami prabhavanti paparipavas. He says, what can you are very much afraid that your sinful reactions that you have accrued will affect you, will throw you in the darkest of regions. He says, why are you afraid? when your master Swami Nanu Sridhara, when your Swami, when your master is Sridhar, the husband of goddess of fortune, how can your sinful reactions, how can your sinful desires can even touch you? And so he says, Alasyam vyapaniya bhakti sulabham. He says, Alasyam vyapaniya. Throw away all your laziness. Cast aside all your laziness. And bhakti sulabham dhyayasva narayanam. Focus, try to focus on Narayan. Because lokasya vyasanapano karo dasasya kim nakshama. He says that the master of all the worlds, who can dispel the distress of all the worlds, dasasya kim nakshama, will he not forgive, forget, and protect his devotee from the greatest of all dangers? This advice Maharaj Kulashekar is giving us actually, because and similar advice we get from Dhruv Maharaj also. Dhruv Maharaj says, Satyashisho hi bhagavam stava pada padmam ashish tathanu bhajatah purusharthamurte api eva marya bhagavan paripati dina vasreva vatsakamano grahakatarosman. This is very interesting actually over here, because sometimes so here, just to give you a context, I'll explain the verse also in some time, but just to give you a context, Dhruv Maharaj is showing his gratitude towards the Lord, although he came to the Lord with materialistic desires. Actually, sometimes we see in especially in India, so when when we are doing book distribution, and there is some person who has on that day you know had some non-veg, or he has had some liquor on that day, and so they don't want to touch Bhagavad Gita, they don't want to touch Bhagavatam, right? And then devotees are trying to push, no, you take, don't worry, you take, right? So although it is, we may have materialistic desires within us, although we may be struggling with our desires for sense gratification, right? But here, as we saw in the previous two verses, where Kulashekar Maharaj is helping us to understand that why we should not be afraid of taking shelter of Krishna. Similarly, Dhruv Maharaj is also saying, he says, so first thing, he says, Satya Shisho hi Bhagavans. He says, oh Lord, you are Satya Ashish. This is also very important. Satya Ashish, Acharya has explained there are two meanings to this word Satya Ashish. One meaning of the word is, whatever the Lord will, benediction will be given, it will come out to be true. It cannot be false. That is the potency that is there in the Lord's blessings. It can never fail. Right? Sometimes, we may give blessings to someone. Ayushman Baba, live a long life. But it's not sure whether that person will be able to live a long life or not. But once the Lord gives us the blessings, that blessings will never fail. Also, another blessing that Lord gives us through this Satyashish, which is the next meaning, that when Lord gives us some benediction, his benediction will always bring about welfare and auspiciousness for his devotees. When demigods give benediction, it is not guaranteed whether it is a Satyashish or not, both in terms of its potency, in terms of whether it is true or not, and second, whether it is for the welfare of the person or not. Actually, like we see, Lord Brahma, he had given benediction to Hiranyakashipu's sister, Holika that you will not be burned by fire. But when Holika wanted to devour Prahlad Maharaj in the fire where she will not be affected, that fire destroyed her. Brahmaji gave benediction to Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu was destroyed by Lord Narasimhadev. Brahmaji gave benediction to Ravana, and Ravana was destroyed by Lord Ram. Like this, there was this one demon, I forget the name of, who made a prayer to Lord Shiva. He did a lot of tapasya and took blessings so that he can conquer the whole world. And his boon that he received was anyone's head that he puts his hand on, that person will die. And this demon wanted to kill Lord Shiva only so that he can enjoy Mother Parvati. But then when although that benediction was given by Lord Shiva, it turned out to be a curse for him because he himself died with that benediction. So like this, there are n number of examples that we can see where we can understand that the benedictions which are given by demigods are not satyashish, both in terms of whether they will stay true or not, and even if they are true, whether they are auspicious or not. But a devotee, when he gets blessings or even a curse, sometimes, like we see in the life of Nalakuver and Manigriv, they were enjoying in the waters of the heavenly planets, naked with the girls, and Narad Muni's curse turned out to be the cause of ultimate benediction for Nalakuver and Manigriva. Right? And like this, there are so many examples where when the Lord gives a benediction, that benediction will never, ever, ever create any inauspiciousness for us. In fact, the Acharyas say that when we go to the Lord with material desires, ask for material benedictions, Lord will fulfill those material desires in a manner by which that desire for material sense gratification will be purified. And we can see that in the classic example of Dhruv Maharaj. Again, Dhruv Maharaj wanted a kingdom greater than his father, his grandfather, and his great grandfather. Dhruv Maharaj's father is Uttanapad Maharaj. His grandfather is Swayambhuva Manu, and his great grandfather is Lord Brahma. Dhruv Maharaj wanted a kingdom far bigger and powerful than all these three of his, uh, father, grandfather, and great grandfather. But when he did intense devotional service with a desire to achieve his material benediction, at the end of it, he not only fulfilled his material benediction, but in the process of getting his material benediction fulfilled, his desires completely got purified. And at the end, he says, "Oh Lord, I came to you thinking that I am coming to you for broken pieces of diamonds, for broken pieces of glass, but you have given me diamond actually." Right? So this is the power of devotional service. Even little practice of devotional service, like Gajendra, in his past life, whatever little practice of devotional service he could do, that devotional service gave him so much benediction in this particular life. At the most critical time, it came to his rescue. Right? And the interesting thing and the merciful aspect of the Lord over here is that Gajendra, when he called out for anyone who could help him. Anyone who could help him, but he glorified by saying somebody who is compassionate, somebody who has concern and also capacity. So Gajendra was trying to call for not one specific person, but he was trying to call for anybody who could help him actually. He did not call out for Lord Narayan. Lord Narayan, out of his compassion, say that, oh, all these qualities that this fellow is talking about are in me. And so I am responsible for his deliverance. And that is why Lord comes with great eagerness to rescue Gajendra. Right? So this is a very, very important hope giving section for us, that whatever little practice of devotional service we have done, it will be a it will save us from the greatest of dangers actually, right? And finally, the third lesson that we learn from this is how dangerous it is to offend a Vaishnava, how dangerous it is to offend a great soul, right? Both the cases, Gajendra, who was in this case the victim, and that crocodile who was the perpetrator, who was the aggressor, both came in this precarious situation of having a very low birth of an elephant and a crocodile because of Vaishnava Aparadh, right? Indradyumna Maharaj offended Agastya Muni. Although he didn't do anything gross, it is very similar to the pastime of Rupa Goswami. You know, we all know the story of Rupa Goswami. He was in his deep meditation and he was focusing on pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. And in this pastime, Lord Krishna was bringing, because Lord was slightly taller, so he was bringing a big branch of flowers down so that Srimati Radharani can pluck it. And then, just to have fun with Srimati Radharani, while she is holding that branch, Lord Krishna leaves that branch, and because of which Srimati Radharani also flies into the air. Seeing this, Shrupa Goswami is laughing, smiling, enjoying the pastime. But there is a Vaishnava who is going slightly away from where Srila Rupa Goswami is doing his bhajan, his meditation, and he has a limping problem. And at that time, this Vaishnava feels that Rupa Goswami is laughing on me. And as soon as this Vaishnava feels that, Rupa Goswami's meditation on the pastimes of the Lord is obstructed. So he again tries to get into the meditation, but he is not able to do it. And that's when he goes and speaks his heart to Srila Sanatan Goswami. And then Sanatan Goswami gives him a remedy by which he can solve, and he can find out which Vaishnava was offended. And Rupa Goswami then goes and begs forgiveness from that Vaishnava. Right? So Indradyumna Maharaj's case is also very much like this. He was a king, a very powerful king, and he goes to the forest after taking Vanaprastha. He's meditating on the Lord, and for some reason he is not able to reciprocate with Agastya Muni and his disciples. And Agastya Muni says, how this king, he does not have any good qualities. He is very rude. Let him become an animal in next life. And this is the quality of a Vaishnava actually. The tolerance of a Vaishnava nurtures and nourishes one's devotional life actually. One time my Guru Maharaj Srila His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was sharing how those Vaishnavas, how those Prabhupada disciples, and for that matter Vaishnavas all across our ISKCON, who remain tolerant to all the so-called injustices, so-called inconveniences, so-called difficulties that they have gone through. Over a period of time, they became matured, empowered Vaishnavas who were able to transform lives of lot of devotees. And those devotees who were criticizing, condemning leadership, just because there were certain things which were not going, sometimes they were true also. And this is what is very important. Apparently Rupa Goswami did not do any offense. Apparently Indradumna Maharaj did not do any offense. But still, when the reaction came, their response was a very Vaishnava response. And because it was a Vaishnava response, eventually they got liberation. And Rupa Goswami could meditate again into his bhajan, right? But if we allow the tornadoes of anger, greed, lust, which are arising into our hearts, and if we allow these tornadoes to hit our tongue, and through the tongue we offend Vaishnavas by criticizing them, by condemning them, by belittling the sacrifices and services of devotees, then for sure we will suffer a serious setback in our devotional service. And so it is very, very important that we are extremely cautious of not committing Vaishnava aparadha. And that is why you see in the pastime of Dhruv Maharaj again, Dhruv Maharaj, so there we know after the pastime of Dhruv Maharaj becomes the king, and then Uttama goes into the forest and he is killed by a yaksha, and Mother Suruchi, he tries to go to tries to find her son, and she gets caught in a forest fire, and both Uttama and Suruchi die. Uttama is killed by Yaksha and Suruchi is killed by the forest fire. Again, it is because of their offense to Dhruv Maharaj. A reminder for us. But Dhruv Maharaj, out of his love for his brother Uttama, he becomes angry on the Yakshas. And he wants to kill and punish Yakshas, that such a punishment that they will never forget. So he attacks very vehemently on the in the, I think in the name of the city is Alakapuri or something. He is vehemently attacking and killing the yakshas, right? And then Swayambhuva Manu comes and he says, and he controls the anger of Dhruv Maharaj, and he says, because you have killed so many yakshas, you should beg for forgiveness from Kuvera. So when Kuvera comes, Dhruv Maharaj is begging for forgiveness, and he is also begging that, oh Kuver, so Kuver offers benediction to Dhruv Maharaj. He says, oh Lord, he says, oh Kuver, please give me a benediction so that I can remember the Lord without any obstruction. And Acharyas explain why is Dhruv Maharaj doing this. Because Dhruv Maharaj felt that even if there is a slight tinge in the heart of Kuvera, oh, this Dhruva has killed so many of my followers, so many of my yakshas, his remembrance of the Lord will be hindered. And if that is hindered, then it's a very sad situation for Dhruv Maharaj. And that is why Dhruv Maharaj is praying to Kuvera that please give me unhindered remembrance of the Lord. Right? So this is a great lesson for all of us, that the danger of a Vaishnava aparadh, and how, and also we have seen amongst devotees, sometimes we feel, oh, now we are devotees, so we will only go up and up and up. Indradumna Maharaj was also a devotee. He became an elephant. Bharat Maharaj was also a devotee on a very advanced platform. He became a deer in his next life. So we should never think that we cannot go into the lower species of life and suffer. If we are not very serious of our conduct as Vaishnavas, and if we are offending devotees, there are chances that we may, even as devotees, as initiated devotees, potentially glide down into lower species of life. So we have to be very, very careful of Vaishnava Aparadh. Uh, so these are the three main lessons I wanted to, share with all of you uh, over here. Yeah, somebody has. Yeah, that demon was Bhasmasur. So, or Bhaumasur perhaps. So, uh, first lesson that we learn is the temporary and the dangerous nature of material world, how it is padam padam yat vipadam natesha. But although this is temporary, although this is dangerous, where there is danger at every step, but even the slight practice of devotional service can help us achieve highest of benedictions and save us from the greatest of dangers. But in the practice of devotional service, we have to be careful of not offending Vaishnavas. And if we don't offend Vaishnavas, then the royal highway back home, back to Godhead is for sure open for all of us. And as Srila Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction, that a devotee with proper attitude will be dragged to success. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. This is what I had to share with all of you today. I'm extremely sorry. I am away from my Govardhan Eco Village. I'm at ISKCON Chowpatty and there is a lot of construction work happening here. I tried to find a peaceful place, but just as the class was about to start, there was some disturbance, and so I had to move, and there was some disturbance and discontinuity. Network was also not very great, so I beg for forgiveness from all the Vaishnavas, and I thank all of you for your patient listening, and I really appreciate this Sanga that you are having every day, which is a great source of nourishment for all of us. Thank you very much, and thank you for Shama Gauri Mataji also, who very regularly gives me the opportunity to serve all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Such a wonderful topic. Very nice in the sense that how we in the material world we just caught up and it is not permanent, which is temporary, and then um, what is permanent is Krishna's lotus feet and all. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Nice stories, Prabhu. Dear devotees, if you have any questions, please go ahead and raise your hands and go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask. Let me see if we have any raised hands. Don't see any raised hand. Yeah, I see one raised hand.
Sudhakar Prabhu.
Sudhakar Prabhu, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask Prabhu.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
I'll just close my video because my network bandwidth is a slightly low. But yeah, please ask.
Hare Krishna
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
some devotees have raised hands. Maybe Sudhakar Prabhu, you can ask question.
Yeah, can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes,
now,
I can
Prabhu.
hear you.
Okay, yeah. Prabhuji, yes, it was a very beautiful lecture and you summarized very clearly. My question is not related directly to this, but this I've been having this question in mind from a couple of days. Maybe I thought if you can clarify me. Okay. One thing is all we learned today also you summed up that this material world is a temporary and it is extremely dangerous, right? Yes, that is known, spoken by many people and many places. Is clear. Actually, I was wondering why the soul first of all got entangled into the material energy. Why not to the divine energy? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, what I understood is Lord Krishna was describing, right, about the Maya energy
which is an inferior energy, and there is another energy called Jiva energy, which is superior. And why the Jiva energy is entangled in the first instance with the lower energy of the God, my energy? Why not directly with the divine energy? I don't know. My question is clear, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Yes,
If
yes,
it may be
Prabhu, your
silly.
question is clear. I am not sure if I can give you full justice to your answer to the question, but whatever is my understanding, I will share over here with you. Basically, Prabhu, we have free will, and Krishna never forces his free will on us. Krishna is Swarat, he is infinite, and he is completely independent. We are finite, but we are also completely independent in many ways. Not completely independent, but we also have a lot of independence actually. Now, for some reason, we get attracted because the jiva misunderstands his identity actually. When the jiva's identity is connected to the material world, he gets attracted to the material world. And when his identity is connected to the spiritual world, he gets attracted to the spiritual world. So jiva by nature at a certain level is very selfish. Only thing is, what does he identify himself with? There his selfishness will, further him. If he identifies himself as enjoyer, then he will get attracted to the material world. But if he identifies himself as connected to Krishna, then he will feel that his selfish interest is in serving Krishna. So it is actually because we have a lot of free will that Krishna gives us. And Krishna allows us to explore this world so that we know that there is no other option but to serve Krishna actually. It is very unfortunate that we do not select Krishna, or we did not select Krishna in the first instance, but it is primarily because Lord Krishna does not, Lord allows us, okay, you want to go check material world? Fine, I will create millions and billions of universes for you. Go enjoy, go check out. And if you think there is no other alternative, then come back to me, no problem. So, I think it is primarily related to free will that Lord gives us. And unfortunately, a lot of jivas like me, we think that we can be separated from Krishna and still be happy. And this material world, then, Lord has made so that we learn our mistakes actually. I don't know if I am making sense, but this is my 2 paise worth of realization. At a certain level, at a certain level, it may be very difficult to answer as to why did we choose material world, because it is like, if you have malaria, you're like trying to find, which mosquito bit me because of which I got malaria. What are the chances of we able to find that mosquito which transmitted malaria into us? It's very rare. So it is better that we focus more on getting out. Now that we have that opportunity, now that we have association of Vaishnavas, now that we have Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's temples, Prabhupada's disciples, we should not waste time and try to just get out of it as soon as possible actually. uh, I'm sorry if it does not completely answer your question, but this is my 2 paise worth of realization.
Okay,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prahladanand Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, you are saying
Okay.
something.
Haribol Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Haribol. Am I audible,
Dhanvat,
Prabhuji?
Dhanvat, yes, Prabhu, you are audible.
Okay, a very nice class, Prabhuji, and a very nice summarization of those three points which you made out, which which are very practically affecting most of us. At least it has also affected my in my course of getting Krishna consciousness like that. But I also recall there's no question I'm asking, but there's a very nice similarity in Gokarna Maharaj, advising his father Atmadev. This is in Bhagavatam Mahatmya, Skand
Bhagavad
Puran.
Mahatmya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He very nicely summarizes and tells his father to do this. He says, Dehestimans rudirebi matityajatma. Okay, first of all, leave this bodily consciousness. Dehestimans rudirebi matityajatma. Then he says, Jaya disasu mamta sada vimunch. As you were quoting, deha patya kalatradis. So this is the second one he says that, just dehe simans rudirbim batityam jaya sudir mamta vimucha pasya nisam jagadidam kshanbhanganishtham. Right, everything which you and me see, you are quoting this example of this Air India flight. So everything is kshanbhanganishtham. Anytime you have to leave the body. And then he says, dharmam, what's he say? Vairagya rag rasiko bhav bhakti nishtam. Stressing so much on bhakti that we must become completely established in bhakti. Then he says, dharmam bhajasva satatam tyaj lok dharman sevasva sadhu purusam jahi kam trushnam. Anyasya gundos chintanmas muktva seva katha rasrom mitram pibatvam. So the whole gist is, similarly what you have summarized in the Gajendra's
This is in
episode like that.
Skanda Puran, Prabhu?
Yes,
Is this in
Prabhuji.
Skanda Puran?
Yes, this is
Oh,
Skand
okay.
Puran. Yeah, beautiful.
Acha, I
Gokarna
thought it
Maharaj.
was Gokarna and this is in Padma Puran. No, huh? Okay,
Oh,
maybe
I'm
I'm wrong.
not sure. Probably is this Skand Puran or Padma Puran?
Yeah. So if you can send this shloka, Prabhu, I'll be very grateful to you.
Sure. No problem. Yeah, no problem. I'll just put it in the chat. Do you want me to put it in chat?
Prabhuji, you can
Yeah, you
send
can
it
put
to
it.
me.
Yeah,
Or
or Shyama Gauri Mataji, if you can send it to her, I will collect it from her.
Yeah.
okay. I'll just put it in our platform of what do you call this? Japa group. Is it possible for me to do that,
Sure,
Mata?
Prabhu, you should be able to do that. You should be able to do that if you want.
Oh, okay. So I'll do that. No problem. I have actually Sanskrit edition of that so that I can just photocopy and move that. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. It's such a nice
Thank you,
satsang we had.
Prabhu.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. There are some comments in the chat session I'm reading. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam, respected Jai Jaduthakur Prabhuji, very inspiring class. Please accept our humble obeisances. I think this all for Vaishnavas. Harita Mata is saying Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very enlightening class. Hare Krishna. I don't see any questions, but this just comments, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Devotees, anybody would like to have anybody has any other questions? Please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask. Can you hear me?
Some Bala Prabhu, it seems
Yeah.
he has raised his hand. Bala ji.
Yeah.
Prabhu, please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. One of the best lectures I heard. Thank you for so many great points you mentioned connecting to the present circumstance. My question is, Prabhuji, that why it is so difficult it is apparently seems like difficult for us to stay on track with bhakti because so Maya is so powerful. It takes a lot of energy for people to stay on track. Even though we heard that if you take one step, Bhagavan Krishna will take 10 steps towards you. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, so I will, of course, I mean, I am also a victim of that. And, so Prabhu, if we have been practicing bhakti for a few years, so one thing we should know that, bhakti is very scientific. Srila Prabhupada always stresses that this process is very scientific actually, right? Scientific means what? There is a process. If you follow the process, you get success. If you don't follow the process, you don't get success, right? So as we are trying to practice devotional service, whenever we get hurdles in our life, we should know that somewhere the process is not right. Somewhere we are doing there is some problem in our basics, and basics is nothing but ABCD, association of devotees, books, chanting, prasadam, right? Somewhere if there is a problem in that, then you know we struggle. And in my personal opinion, I have lived for 15, 20 years in the association of devotees. What I have seen is those devotees who have deeply taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books. They are the happiest devotees in ISKCON actually. This is my feeling actually. Those devotees who have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books, in my opinion, they are the happiest devotees of ISKCON actually. So, uh, you know, this is my, so, the one Srila Prabhupada, very senior Srila Prabhupada disciple, Urmila Mataji. And she is very scholarly, very nice, very senior Vaishnava, amazing classes she gives. And I heard this one class of hers, and one point of that class has stayed with me in my entire life. And I always try to remember that, meditate on that. He says, any problem that you have in your life, not only Krishna consciousness, in your life, in terms of relationships, in terms of spirituality, in the sense practice of your spirituality, Krishna consciousness, anything, you should know that it is because your connection with Krishna is broken or it is hindered. So, and this is, and when I first heard, I was going through a lot of tough time in my spiritual life. I was having a lot of health issues and I was not feeling very motivated, and I was feeling very down in my spiritual life. But when I heard this, you know just very quickly, I'll take 2 minutes. This one pastime which Gauranga Prabhu he tells. So when Lord Krishna is grazing his cows, right? So then at that time, so Lord Brahma, he takes away a lot of cows actually. No, sorry, this is another demon who takes away a lot of cows of the Gopas who are with Krishna actually. And what does Lord Krishna tell them? He tells them that all of you wait, you take your lunch, I will go and bring the cows back, right? And in that chapter where this is discussed, so Lord is named as Govinda, right? So Govinda means one who takes care of cows,
Yeah.
and another meaning of Govinda is one who takes care of our senses actually. So when we feel that our process is not, we are not enthusiastic, we are not feeling that stability in Krishna consciousness. You see, we are not yogis, we are not jnanis, we are not, karma yogi and those type of people. We are bhaktas. So as bhaktas, we don't try to control our senses, we try to focus on Krishna, and in turn, Krishna tries to control our senses. We try to focus on chanting Hare Krishna, and then the rest will be done by Krishna. Just like Krishna went and brought back the cows, Krishna will go and bring back our senses back if we are taking shelter of Krishna. So that we have to be in that mode of longing with Krishna, where we are trying to please Krishna and we are trying to take shelter of Krishna, saying that I cannot bring my senses back. Oh Lord, you please bring my senses back and let me focus. I cannot be determined. I'll just try to practice my Krishna consciousness. Oh Lord, you please help me control my senses. I feel if with this orientation, maybe we will see a little bit of upliftment in our struggle in Krishna consciousness. I'm not sure if I answered your question, Prabhu, but this is what I had to share with you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. It makes a lot of sense to me. Actually, recently, though, to your point, when I sit in meditation, Japa in the morning, before I start Japa, before I used to, you have a personal prayer. My personal prayer recently been through Parampara, requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, that I want to serve you rather than before I want to clean this and that, my chitta and all of those. Now I begin to think that way, that I want to serve them the best possible way. And I have seen some change in the direction of my japa. And I was not sure I'm doing right or not, but you have confirmed that in that direction. Am I thinking right in that there, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. This is also, in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, na? Prahlad Maharaj, now I don't remember that verse actually. I think it is the 5th prayer of Prahlad Maharaj actually, right? Where where Prahlad Maharaj is saying, "Oh Lord, I will not wait for being perfect. With whatever little intelligence I have, I will try to worship you." So this is our situation also. We are not perfect, but with whatever little we have, we just offer it to the Lord, and then we. So I think what you are doing is very nice, Prabhu. I appreciate and I seek blessings so that I can also follow.
Yeah. So there is another question. It may be not related. Way back a few years ago, Garuda Prabhu was here, ISKCON LA, and the senior Vaishnavas. One is Naranarayan, and since now he passed away a few years ago. And they're all having a discussion about how the process of evolution came. Actually, there's some connection through the British time that information was soul evolution came to the Darwin evolution. This is actually information stolen from Padma Puran.
Yeah.
Would
Yes.
the,
Prabhupada says that.
yeah, would we need to write a book on that? Would that something from your perspective is it true?
Well, if Prabhupada has said that, then how can I say that it's not true?
Yeah.
Uh, but but I mean this Darwinian theory thing. As far as I know, Prabhu, even many of the scientists have rejected it.
Yes.
At least a lot of scientists have rejected it. But I think this question you may ask to Kripamoy Prabhu Kripa Nidhi Prabhu. He's a Srila Prabhupada disciple.
Yes.
He stays in Mayapur and he does a lot of. He has very scientific bent of mind actually,
Mm.
and he has a lot of this, information also and realization also on this. He was sharing once with me that there was a research in I think MIT, if I'm not wrong, or one of these MIT, Harvard, or Princeton universities, where the probability of this whole evolution happening
Yes.
was one by 160 something like that actually. So which was so high that practically it is impossible actually. So even scientific fraternity also believes. Only thing is less informed people they argue with devotees on this, but scientific fraternity also has different types of theories that they have now moved into, because they have figured out this Darwinian theory is no longer a very reliable discussion to refute theism and to refute presence of God.
I see.
I'm not sure if that makes sense to you.
No, I think yeah. Thank you. Yeah, your own scientific circle also has been questioned. You're right. Absolutely right. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate.
Thank you very much, all of you. My obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. And please
Thank
bless
you
me
so
so that I
much,
can.
Jaduthakur Prabhu. Very, very wonderful class and very nice explanation, Prabhuji. And thank you so much for your time and association, coming on the call, giving giving us a class in such a difficult time. If you have so many difficulties, but still you overcome it and give class. Thank you so much. At the beginning, I thought how we can gonna get class today. But it was so nice. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva च पतितानां
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
की जय।
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
इस ग्रेस जदु ठाकुर प्रभु जी की जय।
जय जय।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत
Thank you,
प्रणाम।
Prabhuji. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Prabhu
the
ji.
class. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll close the call for
Jai.
Hari